Welcome to this Money Control live stream. You're watching Midday Market Mood Check with me, Nandita Khemka, and my colleague Yatin Mota. Well, Yatin, today we started out on a positive note, but of course, it's the caution ahead of large cap IT earnings that has set in, and in fact, the Nifty is right now struggling to hold on to that 19,400 mark. If you look at the IT index, I think that is among the laggards, and TCS and HCL Tech ahead of the first quarter earnings are trading with 0.5% cut or thereabouts. If you look at the broader markets, but interestingly, this pocket is holding out with the Nifty small cap index outperforming large cap indices, and in fact trading higher by about 1% or thereabouts. When you look at the sectoral movers, PSU, banks and energy basket is doing extremely well. No points for guessing that ONGC is the top Nifty gainer today, given the fact that crude prices have once again surged to 10-week high, and the Brent, in fact, is near about that $80 per barrel mark. Among the other Nifty gainers, you have Eicher Motors building on the gains that we saw yesterday. NTPC, Sun Pharma, Reliance once again has hit a fresh 52-week high, was up 0.5% or thereabouts. SBI was another one that is among the top gainers and is lending some weight to the gains that we are witnessing on the PSU Bank Index. Aside of that, on the losing front, we have Ultratech, given the fact that we have seen a downgrade coming from UBS. That stock is the top loser on the Nifty. HUL, Infosys, M&M, and BPCL are some of the other losers on the index. But let's talk about the earnings. Of course, the heavyweights that are reporting earnings today. TCS, Yatin. If you look at the IT earnings, first two quarters are seasonally strong quarters, but this time it will be different given the fact that the global macro environment is pretty much subdued.
I would say it's not subdued because if you look at the US GDP data, it's still better than expectations. Obviously, for the next 1 or 2 quarters, things are slightly challenging because the clients have taken a step back because they are also watching the entire macroeconomic environment. But once things are stable, you can't do away with Indian IT and technology stocks because IT is the need of the hour.
Right.
Obviously, we'll wait and watch out for the TCS CEO commentary because this is the first time he'll be doing a press conference. And HCL Technologies guidance, because TCS will not give any guidance, HCL Tech will. The IT bellwether stocks and the large 5 companies' earnings will be watched out for. And, immediately we also have the earnings of Wipro and Infosys. The entire IT pack will be watched out for. But yes, there will be some bit of slowdown which is expected on a sequential basis. But yes, the entire scenario this time, rather than earnings, will depend on the management commentary.
That's true, Yatin. I just want to take our viewers through what to expect from TCS. Flat to 0.2% QOQ growth in CC revenue. Margins, however, last time I remember they had not given guidance, they never give guidance, but they were expecting a 25% exit margin.
Yeah.
But the margins came in at 24.5%. And this time around, the margins may slip further given the fact that they had announced a salary hike in the month of April. So another 80 to 60 basis point, slip off in margins expected this time around. And as you mentioned, the commentary from K. Krithivasan will be watched out for. But mind you, TCS has seen some big deal wins as well, even though there was one deal cancellation. But others, the BSNL deal and Phoenix and a lot of other deals, were kind of inked in the quarter gone by. But aside of that, let's talk about some other movers. As I mentioned, cement is in focus given the fact that UBS has downgraded Ultratech and Dalmia Bharat as well as Ambuja. Lupin, a good news flow surrounding this counter. It has hit a 52-week high. Pithampur unit has got an EIR from US FDA, Establishment Inspection Report. That means they can get product approvals and new launches from the Pithampur unit, which is a plus for Lupin. And let's talk about the gaming stocks.
Yeah, the
Delta Corp.
GST. GST issue has hit shares like Nazara, which is down almost 4% right now. And Delta Corp, that stock fell as much as 25% in trade. Right now, settling at 20% lower. Stock was in F&O ban yesterday. The cash segment for Delta Corp is quite active. But among the other things, this is the GST issue. The market has probably discounted the news. But BSC Limited, after the announcement of the buyback of shares, the stock is up another 9% today. Paytm is up 7% today. LG Equipments, after good set of earnings, that stock is up 10%. JB Chemicals and Aarti Drugs are other stocks which are doing well in trade. So, on overall basis, strong momentum in mid caps, stock specific action seen in most of these names.
Right. I think, Marksans Pharma is another one that got a USFDA nod for some pain relief tablets. That stock was up and about. Aside of that, on the Nifty 500, you had gainers like LG Equipment, JB Chemicals. I think there's been a brokerage report on this, an upbeat brokerage report. On the back of that, the stock is up and about. On the losing front, of course, Bata and Cyient are some of the other counters. But in the second half, of course, aside of earnings, there's some economic data to watch out for, both domestically as well as in the US. We'll have the April, in fact, June inflation figures that will be trickling in today, and because of a surge in vegetable prices, I think the CPI inflation for the month of June is expected to uh, go above that 4.5% mark and come in at 4.6% mark versus 4.2% in the previous month. Even IIP for the month of April is expected to pick up. In fact, May is expected to pick up, and in the US as well, we'll be watching out for the inflation figures that come out later tonight. Well, I think in the second half of the session, we'll be watching out for whether or not we manage to sustain the momentum that we are witnessing in the broader end of the markets. Large caps are pretty much muted. Nifty trying to hold on to that 19,400 mark. We'll see how trade pans out in the second half of the day. But don't forget to tune in at 3:30 p.m. when we get you all the action post market close, and of course we'll be talking about some of the stocks that will be on our radar this afternoon. But for now, it's a goodbye from me and Yatin. Thanks a lot for watching. For all your other news and updates, stay tuned to Money Control.